Dan, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Part of the reason why we're getting together here is to talk about your award as Merchandiser of the Year in the public space for 2022. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You say you've been a member since 1990?
1990.
Wow.
I remember.
And I'm looking at some of in your bio, I'm looking at some of your chapter awards: Junior Golf Leader 2 times, and Youth Player Development twice, one time, and then Merchandiser of the Year for the chapter, 19 and 20. Yep. So that's pretty cool. Before you how long have you been at Avondale?
This is my 26th year.
Wow. So where were you in the prior 6-ish years?
Oh, well, I grew up at Wandermere Golf Course. I worked on the grounds crew for 8.5 years. I started there when I was 13.
Wow.
Mark Gardner got me involved in the PGA end of it. I turned pro, and I moved up to Manitou. Worked for Steve Prue for 8.5 years. From there, I moved to Indian Canyon for 1.5 years with Gary Lindeblad.
Okay.
Then 4 years with Steve Connor downriver.
Wow.
And then
I didn't realize all these places you've been.
Oh yeah, I've been around the block a couple times. Actually, a few more times than I had hoped. But then after I left Steve Connor, I went to there was a golf range that was brand new that at the time a guy by the name of Clint Wallman was there, and he moved back to the Midwest, and so I moved there for a year. And then they got a big offering on the property from a computer company. And they signed a 20-year contract, and they shut us down. I mean, it was within 2 weeks. We went from open to closed.
Wow.
It was a little shocking to see that happen.
Sure.
And then I moved out here to Avondale 1 year as an assistant. In the last this is my 26th year, so I guess it'd be 25 years here at Avondale.
Yeah. Wow. So in reality, you spent most of your time kind of on the west side of Spokane.
I did.
And then,
I was born and raised in Spokane on the north side.
Okay.
So, and that's where I met my wife, Debbie.
So you've been there for 25 seasons as the head professional, and you've owned the golf shop the entire time?
Yep.
Nice.
The whole time.
So as I'm looking through your bio, some pretty impressive numbers here. In terms of 2020, obviously everybody had a great year.
Yep.
You did over 300, almost 3.25 in gross merchandise sales, but then you followed it up the following year with over $500,000, and then you kept it rolling for 2022, and a big part of that looks like you and Taylor and Austin really blew it up in the in the sort of club fitting space. How'd you do that? So what are some examples of that?
Well, what we did, we've done it on a number of avenues. Number one, we've grown our junior program. I think we got one of the bigger junior programs in the Northwest. We have over 150 kids in our junior program.
Yeah.
And we do it all through the year. We teach downstairs with the kids that are real serious, but we're just getting ready next week to start our Operation 36 program. And they're 5-week packages. We do first week, we'll do lessons. Second week, the even weeks, we'll do lessons and they play golf. We introduce them, and we're all out there working hard trying to teach them golf, the rules, the etiquette, everything. Third week, we do the lessons. Fourth week, we'll be out on the golf course. And we have a leaderboard with the best scores for the different distances. So the kids love that. It's how much the parents are getting involved. In the summer, we do a summer program, and we finish it up in September. Last September, we had our car lights on the last screen because we wanted to get everybody in. And
cool.
The parents just ate it up. And the benefit, not just to introduce a great game of golf to all these kids, the parents are incredible. They stick around, they eat. It's helped our membership. Our membership in the last 2 years, we're full.
Yeah.
We have 400 members. We probably have 900 and just over 900 golfers total. If you add the junior memberships, we have a small business package. We have the spouses, the regulars. We have the legends where they can play so many times a month where they don't play as much, and we try to encourage them to come out. So there's a lot of things we've done. I mean, the biggest change for me personally with our sales out of our shop has been we do a lot more demo days. And I never really did that. I really didn't. I thought, okay, we'll do a couple sales and it's not going to be that much.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing what we do in demos. I have my number one demo account is Ping.
Okay.
My sales rep has worked with me after the first, so he blocks out about 6 hours worth of times. I have enough for about 12 spots. I can't remember the last time they didn't fill up. And basically, I just got to market it to my members and word of mouth. And then I get on Facebook and I share it. And I'm the number one Ping sales company here in the Northwest for this area. My biggest competition has been Gordon Corder at Manitou, and he's a great guy.
Sure.
He had it a couple of years, but I'm happy to say that Taylor Austin and I took it from him. So we talked to our sales rep, how we doing? We ahead, we behind, what we need to do. So
friendly competition.
And we actually expanded where we're doing demo days in the winter. And it's amazing. I don't know if I should throw these numbers out, but in the Ping at cost last year, I did a little over $110,000. So I mean, I was a little slow to the game to understand this was not the wisest move on my part, not to be more proactive.
Yeah.
And don't tell anybody, but a lot of it comes from Taylor and Austin. The young guys, as you can tell, I'm a little gray.
Yeah.
The young guys are such go-getters. I mean, I'm so blessed with, it's pretty much a family business. My wife's my merchandiser. Yeah. All my kids basically worked for me. Taylor and Austin worked their tails off. They're just incredible people, incredible work ethic. And we sit and talk all the time about, what's expected of us and where we want to go and how do we improve it. Last year, I know you don't have 2022 numbers, but we did just under 640,000.
Wow. That's awesome.
So, and I make bets with the guys and say, look, and I told them the goal this year is 700. I don't know if we can get there, but they get a bonus, a pretty good sized bonus. But I should share the wealth was my
sure.
opinion. I mean,
well, I would say that when I got to meet you doing Sweet 16 education, the sort of first few years of doing that, and obviously we always are grateful to Pete Trudeau and Pacific Golf and Turf for sponsoring that every year. Andy does a great job along with Coeur d'Alene Resort. But like I remember one of those, we kind of go into lunch the second day and I got to spend more time with the three of you. And in some ways, Austin is like another son to you. It's obvious,
Absolutely.
And the loyalty that they show to you and that you show to them, and seeing them both Taylor and Austin sort of go from, being associates to being full members, and seeing them develop and take on Operation 36. And I know you're proud of them. I'm proud of them too, because they're just great golf professionals. And it's pretty cool. In some ways, it's kind of interesting. You're winning the award as a public golf course because you technically are, but in some ways, you're private, semi-private. You're kind of almost like, what do you want us to be today? Yeah, we can do that.
I've always been confused whether I'm public or private. I mean, we're open to public, and our club gets about 40% of its revenue from outside.
Yeah,
but that's shrinking because with the full membership, we don't have enough tee times to suit everybody. Like I said, we got, with members and all the different categories of members, we got 900 people for an 18-hole course, and we're going through pains here at Avondale that we haven't gone through before, in that
Good problems.
it's a great problem.
Yeah.
And there's things coming down the road, that capital expenditures that we want to do, clubhouse, irrigation, and things. And we're trying to save money. At the beginning of last year, we got completely out of debt here at Avondale. We've always been in debt since I've been there. We had a new sprinkler system in '96 put in, and we finally paid all that off. And now we're looking at another one here. They formed a committee to see when we need to get a new one. And so that's here at Avondale. I mean, from top to bottom, it's fun to be part of an organization that is all pulling one direction for one common goal. And it actually starts with the board of directors, and then it goes down to the department heads, and we have our weekly meetings, and we're all on the same page, and we're trying to get the best product out there. Our maintenance crew's excellent. The pro shop, and I think half of the success, or most of the success that we have in the shop, is we've had I haven't had any turnover.
Yeah.
In the last 3-4 years, I have guys that have been in the industry. I have a sales rep that was at Nike and Under Armour, Scott Stevens. I have a couple of retired police officers that are excellent working as shop staff, because as we get more and more busy, Taylor and Austin and I are pulled in a lot of different directions, and and to have quality people that I go, okay, you just handle that. That's yours. And I can focus on something else. My merchandise, my wife is fabulous. She's really got into golf. She's my merchandiser. She used to work. I'll say how old we are. She used to work at Montgomery Ward's in the ladies department. So,
so she knows her stuff.
So she knows her stuff. And there's a couple times I've tried to question her on stuff, and that's not a good move on my part. But
we should know better.
I should, but a lot of times I don't.
We should know better.
I don't have that ability as the older I get to speak my mind. I lose my filter.
Well, you bring up something that one of the questions I want to ask you. One of your unique ideas in 2021, you had a spring fashion show.
Yep.
Where you had a ladies' spring break banquet. And you have them sort of in quotes models. Were those members?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah,
we're always thinking of how we can improve what. And I had a late 18-hole ladies club president, and there's probably 75 ladies that play on Thursdays. I mean, they take up 9 holes. I rotate through it, and so we just said, hey, I brought up let's do a merchandise show. Would you girls be interested in that? Sure. But she said one stipulation. I said, yeah. And I thought, oh, this is going to be good. So she got nine ladies to be models. They picked out stuff a couple days before, put it aside. They came down and used my office to change and do that. Taylor, Austin, and I had to be models too.
I was going to say, that's how you got to 12.
That's how we got to 12. But the boys, I was shocked because I'm pretty quiet and pretty want to be in the background.
Yeah.
Those boys just said, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And I'm like, I told Leda, I guarantee you the boys will do it, but
the ham bone came out. The ham and the boys came out. They
came out. Yeah, it came out, and you got all these tables of about 4 ladies at each table, and there's probably 7 tables, 8 tables, and you got to wander through it. I feel like, oh no. And you get very cognizant about checking everything, making sure everything's in the right place and stuff. So but you know what? It's gone well. The ladies love it.
Yeah.
We love it. And we have to up our game as much as possible. So we try to make it fun. We do member parties every summer in late July where we have a different topic.
Okay.
Last year was a carnival. And we brought in a dunk tank, and they got to dunk me, and
I love it.
The members got a kick out of that. And we did a little what do I want to say, a little farmyard out in the range where they brought that in. We brought ice cream trucks. We had a band there. The people stayed out in the patio. I mean, it was 85 at night. They stayed till 10:30 at night playing. So I mean, it's kind of it's good and it's bad. It's a family atmosphere here.
Yeah.
But you get to the point where now I got up my game every year, and I'm like, okay, what do I do this year? What's new? And so I have to call on my assistants, my restaurant manager, who's awesome,
Yeah.
and my general manager, Jason German.
Jason. Yeah.
And so we're always trying to do things throughout the year to, keep it fresh, keep it new. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool.
I would bet that with your wife and with that in some ways you've probably developed a brand in the area for being a place where women can find good gear.
Yes.
And you probably get some sales from outside that maybe they might play at another facility, but they feel like, oh, I can go there and I know I'm going to get a selection. I can find stuff that's my size. I can find shoes. I can, because, if you want to sell women's apparel and women's gear, you kind of, it's like the old saying, if you want to sell shoes, you got to have shoes.
Yes, absolutely. And we've upped our buy-in even more than I thought when I started going through it and stuff coming in. So typically each spring, we go through almost all of our merchandise each year. I make them use their credit by December 31st, but I throw on a huge party. Yeah. And I get most of the members of the 400 show up to that. I'll have about 650 people come through my shop in about 6 hour time.
Wow.
For that party. And my wife, it's funny because my wife, she's the merchandiser, and my whole thinking all along, I knew her background, and like, I need to get her involved. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. She says, I don't even like golf. And so I got her out here golfing a couple times, and she thought, at the start, she thought it was, boy, this is a stupid game chasing this little white ball around. And about 4 or 5 times in, she's like, this is pretty cool. Yeah. And now she plays, and she gives me a bridge to the ladies, the 9-hole ladies and the 18-hole ladies. So she plays golf 3-4 times a week with her friends. And awesome. She's probably got 7 or 8 girlfriends that they say, okay, well, let's do this. We'll do 2 tee times.
Yeah.
And so they bend her ear what they want to see, which gets back to me, of course.
Yeah.
And it's all good. And she takes care of a lot of it. So, and to me, it's merchandising of the year it's not, believe it or not, and I believe this, it's not about me, it's about the team.
Yeah.
And relationships. I mean, I formed great relationships with my assistants, with the restaurant manager, the maintenance people out on the golf course, my general manager, and I'll throw things up against the wall and they'll go, okay, that's a good idea. Let's try that. And then they'll do the same thing to me. And I'm like, that's good. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
But my wife has been a great bridge to the ladies, because the ladies are typically a little harder. The guys are like, oh, hey, I forgot my golf shirt today. Here, I just need to grab a golf shirt. And they're more impulsive. Ladies, they want the shirt. They want the quarter zip. They want the pants. They want the skirts. They want the whole outfit. Yeah. And that's been a little bit of a learning experience. So
once they feel like once they feel like you kind of have the right offerings, they can be the most supportive.
Oh,
because
hands down. If you get one that doesn't support you, you're going to hear about it. And I don't know any course that doesn't. I have a couple naysayers, but by and large, most of them are extremely happy. And I'm always trying to my wife, Debbie, my merchandiser, she wants to change things up. So she has about, probably 30 companies, and she'll pick 6 or 7, 8 companies that she will do business with. And she's on the phone with them at least once a week.
Yeah.
And basically Taylor, Austin, and I handle the hard goods, the clubs and stuff. And I know my sales rep for Ping, Jacob, he just got a job over in Seattle, and I wasn't happy about that. I formed a good relationship with him, and he's made me a lot of money, and I've made him money. Yeah. And it's been a scratch each other's back type of situation. Sure. So I'm a little apprehensive. Ping's a top-notch company. I know they'll get somebody in here.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
As good as him, but it's been I guess my take is I'm always trying to better myself. And how do I how do I make this better here for the members? And but it's all about relationships with the sales reps, with my staff, and I am blessed. I mean, my staff is basically my family, and
Sure.
but we had talks all along the way when I first hired him. For example, Taylor, my first year here, he started on the range, worked his way into the shop, and then now a golf pro. But we've had to have some good talks. And I said,
Mhm.
you need to understand where I'm coming from. I said, you having relatives are held to a whole higher standard, a bigger
Absolutely.
standard than everybody else. There's no shortcuts. There's no nothing. They're going to watch you, and it's going to be reflection on me.
Yeah.
And for your ears only, they love these kids more than me, which is good. So,
Yeah.
like I said, Austin and Taylor have been a couple right arms for me. I mean, I can't say enough positives about them. I've been blessed. And like I said, it's a team event, and they're pushing me along, to be honest.
I can imagine.
It's fun.
Yeah, I would say that you're a classic. Your facility is a classic example of you provide mentoring for them because of your experience at all these different facilities and your perspective of being at a Manitou, being at a Wandamere, being at a driving range. I mean, those are all valid perspectives and are worth. But at the same time, they're mentoring up. Kind of like helping you stay more savvy with technology, helping you be more open to different ideas, and certainly having Debbie being the sort of soft goods leader that'll you probably wouldn't be able to do the demo days. That's another reason why you probably couldn't do it in the past, is you didn't have the bandwidth. And Austin and Taylor give you the bandwidth in that area, but certainly Debbie gives all of you the bandwidth.
Oh yeah.
And so and looking at some of the pictures online, I mean, you're looking at the shop, I can see all the, the split seems about right based on the amount of square footage that's dedicated to women and versus the men's apparel and different stuff like that. So in the last few years, like, what's the kind of craziest idea that you've all had about merchandising, like some display or some, just something where it's like, somebody thought it was a stupid idea and they threw it out and it turned out to be a great one?
Well, there's times, and this is a few years ago, I'd go through the shop and I'd pick, granted, I'm old, I'm conservative on my clothing. You see, I'm kind of, I went through the shop and picked, and kind of, we got to have fun with it. So I picked the ugliest outfit I could put together, put it on the mannequin right in front of the thing. I said, the first one to sell that gets all the money from that sale. And you should have seen the boys going at it. They were trying to do it and trying to get it. By the end of the day, and I forget which one. This was probably.
So it looked like Al Cervic would wear it.
Oh, it looked horrible. I mean, it had the old pocket down the chest, a guy, and it was a yellow and a brown color. I mean, it was just horrific. And they sold it. And then I found out later, they said, we're just going to split the money between Austin and I. So I said, no problem. You guys sold it. That's fine. So, we try to keep it lively. Like I said, we have member parties. Another time of year, they'll do a outdoor picnic party. We rented the blow up screen and watched Caddyshack one time right next to 9 Green. And the kids are bringing footballs out there, and we roped off the green, but they're out there and everybody's hooting. And there's probably 200 people there. And
that's awesome.
So, I mean, I'll do sidewalk sales and I'll do odds and ends. I'll do certain days. So we got a couple leagues. We got a men's league on Wednesday nights. So we'll do sales, and we'll put sales racks outside, so they have to almost trip on it to get in the pro shop. Do the same thing with the ladies' night. We have a ladies' league at night. So we try to keep it alive and stuff. They have their opening and their closing days, and so we'll put a rack there for them to look at and stuff. And then We'll do sales for the ladies on the opening night, the closing nights for the
I
different.
like that idea of the movie outside, and I've seen it done in California at Hagen Oaks, but that's sort of a drive-in, almost like, hey, we're going to
Yep.
set the golf carts out and make it a drive-in.
Yep.
But
And
and,
that's
where
exactly-
you're at, you're far enough away from the city where you actually can get the moonlight and the
Yep.
stars,
Oh,
and
it's pretty cool.
in
So-
a way that a lot of people can't get.
The last few years, we've started the nightlight golf.
Okay.
And that
Nice.
feels, I cut it off at 144, and that's packed. It's 9
Yeah.
holes. And so we've actually switched it up this last year. We went from 9 in the light to 9 in the dark. And we made it an 18-hole contest with dinner in between.
Okay.
And we set up a picnic out there. We put cornhole and
Yeah.
lawn darts and things out on the driving range area. They sat out there, partied, and they had the music blasting, and we wanted a festive atmosphere.
Yeah.
People talk about it. They're like, well, when is it this year? I mean, I had people that next, it's usually on a Saturday night, Sunday, come in and go, when's the next one?
Yeah. I've actually never heard of doing it where you have 9 holes in the sort of twilight.
Yeah.
Right? And then dinner, and then 9 holes in the dark. I think that's actually really, really cool.
It's really, I didn't think about it. Actually, Jason German, my general manager, says,
Yeah.
hey, we did this down in Utah. And I said,
Yeah.
really? I said, how'd it go? He says, they loved it.
I can
I
imagine.
did it twice a year, just 9 in the dark.
Yeah.
We did one at the Halloween Open and one in the middle of the summer. And
Yeah.
They love, I mean, something
Packaging
new.
it with the food is brilliant, because that's really gets the social connection
Oh, yeah.
for
Oh,
everybody.
yeah. We had a bar out there on the range, and they're all out there playing and hooting and hollering. And they did a frisbee golf and out in the second half. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, it was just, these things kind of take on a life of their own. And
Yeah.
I'm always looking for something new, something to surprise the members. And that's where I relied on the young flat bellies for that, Taylor and Austin. Yep.
Again, congratulations on winning the section award for Merchandiser of the Year, public. In your case, semi-private, I guess, but certainly public access,
Yep.
so it still qualifies. So congratulations on that. And again, thank you for taking the time to meet with me. Thank you for being a great example golf professional for many, including Austin and Taylor and others. And I'm sure that in the future they will find themselves, if they don't already, saying things, well, this is what Dan taught me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to teach it to you. Right. So I know I do that with mine. So congratulations.
Thank you very, very much.
Proud of you and your whole team. And you did a nice job of giving them credit. So good
Oh,
there.
they're awesome. I mean, it's not about me. It's about everybody here, and they make it fun for me to come to work. And you know what? I think a lot of golf pros have that problem after being in the business for so long.
Sure.
And, I come into work, I point the car at work and head that direction. And to see those guys here every day is just amazing. They're
Yeah.
incredible people. So I would encourage everybody to try to meet those two.
Yep. It's well said. Thanks again for your time.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You have a good day.